Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Blatchford, and this is Dr. Bill Blatchford, my dad, and today we are going to talk about 32 of the traits that the most epic dental practices have.
You know, a number of years ago, we actually published, and that was before Christina joined me, the 10 steps that I have found to be my most successful practices. So Christina has helped me, and we've actually come up with 32 today that we're going to share with you. And I guarantee if you actually put these 32 in place, you will be successful.
Please
Christina,
enjoy.
what's the first one?
All right, number one. You need to be passionate about dentistry, passionate about what you are doing. There are many ways to make money, and if this is not something that you are absolutely so enthusiastic about that you jump for joy every time you get to the office, then you may need to think about something else. So number one, you need to be passionate about dentistry, passionate about changing patients' lives.
Number two is a spirit of continual learning. Now, I have observed clients for a number of years, and I have found that those epic practices, the doctor and the team have a spirit of continuing to learn and continuing to improve. In other words, what is the new skill that you learned in the last 6 months? What's the new skill you learned in the last year? What are you currently studying? What are you reading? So a spirit of continual learning. Number three, a creative mindset. Now, what we're talking about here is a little mental flexibility. Now, what this means is when a new idea comes in, think about how it can work. How can I make this work? As opposed to what I believe most humans do is we start with why it won't work. And very often, if we look at our advisors, and I hate to pick on anybody, but accountants and attorneys tend to tell us why it won't work. And I think it's pervasive in society. If a new idea comes along, why it won't work. You know, one of my heroes is a man named called Elon Musk. And if you look at Elon, one of the things that he has done, he's developed Tesla, Solar City, SpaceX. And you see, he is looking for ways to solve problems, and he is not at all interested in why it won't work. A creative mindset. All right, number four, know your numbers. I've worked with somewhere over 3,000 clients, and I will be first to tell you that those clients who are successful, not just financially, but in life, they know their numbers. These are the ways we measure business success. And if you don't know your numbers, how can you improve it? It's been said, record and monitor those things you want to improve. Know your cost per hour. Know what your overhead is. Know what your accounts receivable are. There are all kinds of numbers that you should know in your practice, and I can help you boil that down to a few very simple ones. But know your numbers.
Number five is sales skills. This is something that both the doctor and the team need to have in an epic dental practice. And that's something that we spend over half of our time in our seminars with both the doctor and with the team to go over how we can be as effective as possible in sales. You can be the best clinical dentist out there, but if you cannot sell the dentistry, it doesn't make an epic dental practice.
Number six is leadership skills. Now, leadership starts with vision of where you're going. Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits, his second habit is begin with the end in mind. And I believe the best thing that a leader can do is have a very clear vision of your future. Now, to have a clear vision of the future, you have to be able to imagine what your future will be. And the sky's the limit. But leadership is the ability to have a vision and then communicate that vision to those people around you. That would be your team and your patients, by the way, because if the patients buy into your vision for dental health, they will accept your treatment. So vision is incredible. Who are we? What do we do? And for whom do we do it? Vision.
Number seven, decisiveness. Being able to make a decision. Sometimes we dentists tend to be C personalities on the DISC test, and we love those details. And those details are so important. However, sometimes that gives us analysis paralysis, and that means that we're not actually moving forward. So ability to make a decision, decisiveness. Trait number 8, and what makes an epic dental practice, is for the doctor to have a balanced life, to be able to have regular vacations planned, to have their week scheduled such that they can do any type of maintenance that it takes for them to physically continue dentistry, such as yoga, such as going to the chiropractor, etc., etc. So being able to have a balanced life, planning out your calendar 12 to 18 months in advance. That is number 8.
Number 9 is determination. In other words, being willing to do whatever it takes. Now, when I say that, I'm saying whatever is moral, legal, and ethical. Now, I didn't mention uncomfortable out of that. I left that out intentionally. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. And I will guarantee, if you look at anyone who's been successful in any venture of life, they've had their setbacks. But the difference is, you see, when they have their setbacks, they get up and they keep going. You know, Thomas Edison one time said, when he tried several hundred ways to make a light bulb, and somebody says, isn't this discouraging? Aren't you discouraged by this? And he says, no, I've just learned several hundred ways not to make a light bulb. And so you see, determination is how it gets you to that finish line.
Trait number 10 is being an effective communicator with everyone on your team, all of your team members, being an effective communicator with your patients, and with anyone that you interact with in your dental practice. Communication, that's number 10. Trait number 11 is empathy. And I think this is something that is so important in all areas of our lives, but certainly with our practice, and wanting to really connect and feel that empathy with our patients and with our team members. So that's trait number 11, empathy.
Number 12 is self-belief. That is believing in yourself, believing that you can accomplish it no matter what. Now, I don't know how we get this. I really don't. But I do know that behavior is a choice. And you see, I can behave like I have all the confidence in the world, and sometimes, yeah, you kind of have some self-doubts and all that sort of thing. But you see, you have to be like that duck sitting there in the river, paddling like crazy under the surface, but on top they look calm, cool, and collected. And that's that self-belief that I can make this happen. And I can't give you any examples here in just a few minutes, but bottom line is you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in what you're trying to accomplish.
Number 13 is integrity. Feeling good about what you actually are doing. Feeling comfortable about the dentistry that you're practicing, how you treat people, and just being able to sleep at night knowing you did the best job that you could do. Integrity. Trait number 14 of an epic dental office is the power of referrals and reviews. In the morning huddle, what we would like to see is every team member selecting one of our excellent patients who are coming in to ask for a referral. And in the evening huddle, then we go ahead and follow up with that to see how that referral request went. We also put a note in the patient's chart so that we only ask our great patients once a year instead of every 6 months for a referral. Patients are happy to give us referrals, but we don't want to look desperate, which we aren't. So the other thing that number 14 includes is reviews. Same thing with reviews. In the morning huddle, we talk about each person is going to ask a particular patient for a Google review. Evening huddle, same thing. We follow up with how did it go, asking that particular patient for that Google review. When we do it, we even show the patient with our iPhone how to put that little Google review in. It's super easy. And patients really appreciate being able to recognize great service. So win-win situation. Number 14 is Google reviews and referrals.
All right, number 15 is have coaches and mentors. Just take a look around. The top athletes in the world always have coaches. Personally, I've had business coaches my entire career. I started with my first dental consultant. 6 months into practice, I hired a company called PBP out of Madison, Wisconsin. They came to my practice for several days, helped us, listened to us, talked to patients, etc. Absolutely put me on a great path. And I've constantly had coaches. I've been in my current coaching program for 9 years. It's called Strategic Coach. And I absolutely believe it. You see, all of us go to what we call the ceiling of complexity. We do everything that we know how to do, but that next step, we don't quite know what to do. So coaches and mentors are a huge part of being successful. Number 16. Surround yourself with the right people. It's been said that your life pretty much mirrors the 5 closest people to you. Take a look at who you're spending time with. Those people you spend time with is going to determine how your life turns out. Now, when we talk about special people in dentistry, I want to just put a plug in here for Solution Reach, which is a great people to help you. And we have several sponsors in our program, and I could name each one of them, by the way. John Kois is not actually a sponsor, but John is somebody we refer to. Solution Reach, Cedar, Tax Saving Professionals. You see, all of these people are very skilled at their field, and they help us because we all have our own areas of expertise. So just keep in mind that your life is probably going to reflect those 5 people you spend the most time with. Surround yourself with some good ones.
Number 17 is getting systems in place in your office so it can run as effectively and efficiently as possible. As an example, block booking and making sure that this is absolutely on point in your practice. So 17 is block booking. Number 18 is marketing and evaluating the marketing that you're currently doing to see how effective it is the first step in doing more marketing. So we really recommend evaluation of the marketing that you're doing, looking at doing digital marketing, making sure that you are one of the top in the Google rankings when we look at general dentists or cosmetic dentists, restorative dentists in your area. So marketing is really important.
Number 19 is stay current. Now, you may experience success early on in your career, but you can't rest on that. You see, I said don't rest on your laurels. You have to stay engaged. You have to stay in business. You have to stay there. And as Christina says, don't be the invisible dentist. You've got to be out there, stay involved in your community, stay current on, well, obviously I don't have to say this, but stay current on all of your technical dentistry aspects because dentistry is changing so fast. But stay current. Stay current on fashion. Keep your office current. That is, redecorate every 5 years. Keep things current. Keep things fresh and new at all times. It's critical to stay current.
Number 20 is leadership skills. And we feel that leadership is something that you are not born with necessarily, but you actually can learn it over the course of your career and continue to learn. So we encourage our doctors to read books on how to be the most effective leader that they can possibly be. How can I develop this team that I have into the greatest potential for whatever they're doing in the office? How can I really help them reach their highest ability? Leadership. Number 21 is having a daily huddle in the morning. At this huddle, we talk about what is going on with our day so that we can be absolutely on point with all of our patients. We talk about our daily goal. We talk about opportunities in the schedule. We look at our schedule 4 days out and we can see where opportunities might be there. We talk about particular patients and anything special that we might want to offer them to really make their day and their experience terrific, and so that everyone is on the same page. AM Huddle.
Number 22 is use the best practice management software. Now, I'm not here to talk about particular brands, but make sure that your software is absolutely up to date and make sure your team is getting current training on that software. You see, one of the things that I find is dentists tend to, well, I've had this software, it's not really very good, I don't like it very much, my team doesn't like it, but it's so expensive. No, doctor, it's expensive not to get the current software and have the best software possible. This is not an expense. Get the best software you can.
Number 23, excellent clinical skills. We think very highly of the John Kois curriculum and also AACD. These are terrific avenues for dentists to improve and increase the clinical skills that they have to offer their patients. So clinical skills on point. Continuing education is something that we really feel strongly about. Number 24 is having a great team. And this requires the ability to hire the right people, to improve our leadership, such as that we are able to really develop the team that we have into being as great as they possibly can be. So having a great team is absolutely essential to having an epic practice. So trait number 25 is visibility. This is an important trait for an epic dental office because you need to be seen. We want patients to be able to find you. That means that your sign needs to be clear, and of course working with whatever city ordinances you have, but making sure that your phone number is right there clear for patients because they're going to be on their phones. And the other thing that really is important for that visibility is your website. Your phone number on your website needs to be front and center. I don't want to have to search for your phone number on your website. So visibility. Patients want to be able to see where you are, see where the office is. That is number 25 of the epic traits. Number 26 is have a great facility. And by that I mean up to date and reflective of your clinical skills. And so when you open that door and even walking up to your building, what's your first impression? What does that patient see when they open the door and come on into your reception area? What do they see? Do they see something that was okay in the 1980s or 1990s? Or do they see something that really is reflective of today and the dentistry that this particular doctor and team are dedicated to providing to their patients? So have a great facility.
All right, number 27 is love what you do. You know, my father told my brothers and I a long time ago, I won't even tell you how long ago, but if you do what you love, you never have to work another day in your life. You know, there's a popular chain of restaurants called TGIF, and it's kind of popular in America, I guess, to complain about what you do, complain about your job, complain about things. But how about TGIM? Thank God it's Monday, and I get to go back to work at something I love to do. You know, I've worked for years with a man named Clay Smith who does all these recordings. Clay is standing behind the camera right now. You know, Clay is like me. He's never worked a day in his life. He loves music, he loves recording, and he walks across the yard to his recording studio, and this is what he does. Clay is like me. He will never retire. Why would he retire? What do you retire to? Christine is trying to get me to retire, but I'll never retire either. Love what you do.
Number 28 is provide a bonus system for your team. We have, over the past 35 years, honed our bonus system such that team members are even making as much in bonus that they make in salary. It's amazing. What a bonus system does is it provides a monetary incentive for team members to go that extra mile, to reach a little bit further. And we find that this is absolutely very effective in all of our offices to have that bonus system in place to reward that great behavior.
Number 29 is demand quality and excellence. You know, General Schwarzkopf said one time, never walk by a mistake. The first thing to do in demanding excellence and quality is perform that way yourself. I mean, do things right. Do it right the first time and demand that from your team. And if someone does not have the same standards you do, either they adopt your standard or they find another place to work. You have to demand quality and excellence. And this is not just in your technical dentistry, but everything that comes out of your practice. Everything the patients see, demand quality and excellence.
Number 30 is celebrate accomplishments. No matter how big or small, celebrate those successes, especially with successes for you and your team. Everyone likes a pat on the back, and people who are appreciated, as it is quoted, will do more than expected. So celebrate those successes. Number 31, answer the phone with a smile. This goes such a long way in making patients really feel like they called the right place when they called your office. And this goes for everyone on the team who answers the phone, and sometimes that does include the doctor as well. Everyone needs to have a smile on their face when they are answering that phone.
Number 32, stay in love with the person you married. When I did my 10 things to be successful, I gave you a bonus, and I gave you number 11, and that is stay married to their first spouse. You know, I've watched so many dentists go through all this problems and all this sort of thing, dividing their net worth, the emotional trouble and all this sort of thing. And one of the things I point out to people, you know, you want to remember something about that spouse. They were absolutely perfect when they met you. So if that person doesn't turn out well, so you have to be very careful how you speak about them, because the only thing that's different now is constant exposure to you. I don't know what you do, but I'll tell you, my wife and I have been married 50 years. And I told my grandson the other day, I won the lottery. And he looked at me, he says, "Beepaw, what do you mean you won the lottery?" I said, "I married the right woman." And you know, it's absolutely true. But one of the things that we do, and it's a simple little thing, but we do express our love and our gratitude to each other on a daily basis. And you know, if you keep saying this, you actually believe it. And in my case, it's true, but you start to behave that way. And it makes a huge difference. Stay married to the first spouse.